The dates have passed and I sold the cat, the house and car including the jack. Walked into work, called the boss a hack, and now I'm screwed. If the mockers believe all that, they need therapy and a cat. We're the children of the Most High. Sooner or later we're gonna fly.
Fresh dates! Get your fresh dates! We have plenty of dates of all kinds. Come and get your fresh dates here!
Hey, excuse me, I'm looking for calendar dates. You know, when the Rapture...
What on earth are you doing?
You said we needed fresh dates.
You get more ridiculous every day, Chris. We are talking about calendar dates, you idiot. We are a Rapture channel, not a fruit market.
So are we setting fresh dates then?
Well, it depends what you mean by dates. Without defining the categorical parameters of time-bounded expectancy, we can't properly frame the question into an equitable perception of truth.
Did you just Jordan Peterson me?
Yeah, but I'm only joking. Of course, we're setting dates. That's what we do.
We're not done with 2025, I hope.
Of course not. But speaking of 2025, when do you think it ends?
Funny you should ask that because we had a question in the comments about it. Perhaps you could use your AI knowledge to shed some light on this whole beginning of the year story. We discussed this earlier, but I think it fits well in here now.
Ah, yes. That was the thread where we broke down the beginning of the year question, when exactly the biblical or prophetic year starts, after the viewer asked about it.
So is there a particular calendar that is suitable for prophetic calculations?
Only one calendar in Scripture is God-given, the one he establishes directly in Exodus 12:2, when he tells Moses and Aaron, "This month shall be for you the beginning of months." That's the Nisan-based, sacred or redemptive calendar, the one tied to Passover, the Exodus, and all 7 of God's appointed feasts, Leviticus 23. It's the calendar by which God measures his redemptive dealings with Israel, and by extension, prophecy. The other system, the Tishri-based civil calendar, was introduced later by Israel itself for practical governance. Kings' reigns, debts, harvest years, and jubilees. It's not evil or wrong. It's just man-made, not divinely decreed.
So what does this mean for Rapture watchers exactly?
In short, the Nisan year is God's. The Tishri year is Israel's. That's why prophetic frameworks, from Daniel's 70 weeks to Revelation's feast alignments, always tie back to Nisan, not Tishri. When Israel shifted emphasis toward the civil year, it was administrative convenience, not a new revelation.
And what's the story with the Essene calendar, and why are we so keen on it?
Good question. The Essene calendar, sometimes called the Dead Sea Scrolls calendar, is basically a restoration attempt of the original 364-day structure. It's simple, perfectly ordered, 4 seasons, each with exactly 91 days, no lunar drift, no human adjustments. The Essenes believed this was the system God gave Enoch, and that it kept the appointed feast days on their true cycle. When the later Jewish leadership shifted to a lunar-based calendar, the Essenes said, "That's man's correction, not God's." For prophetic study, that's why people like us keep an eye on it.
So it lines up the feasts more cleanly with the solar year. And sometimes those alignments hit prophetic patterns the modern civil calendar completely misses.
Exactly. That's the key distinction. Modern Judaism today, unfortunately, uses the Tishri-based civil lunar calendar for both civil reckoning and feast observance, even though the original biblical command set Nisan as the beginning of months. So today, even major feast dates like Rosh Hashanah, Yom Kippur, Sukkot are reckoned from Tishri, not Nisan, because rabbinic tradition made Tishri 1 the new year.
So Israel are basically doing it wrong? The Essenes had a point?
Let's just say, if you're keeping time by the wrong clock, you'll still hear the trumpet. You just might not know what time it is. The Essenes might have been eccentric, but at least their calendar didn't need a rabbi, a moon, and a calculator to find Passover.
I think most people would put all this in the "it's all too hard" basket. But I like that we actually take it into account when we set dates that we hope align with the date God has set. When people say you will never work it out, so just go live your life, I think to myself, so let me get this straight. When an Olympic runner trains for 4 years just so that one day 8 people can sprint for 10 seconds, and he can say, "Ha, I ended up here, and you ended up 1 step behind," that's perfectly fine. But me choosing to spend my time trying to solve one of God's puzzles, that's the problem.
You know, when you put it like that, it sounds like heaven's the only finish line that actually matters. But maybe, just maybe, some folks should ask themselves why it bothers them so much when someone else runs their own race. Anyway, carry on.
So given that the Nissan calendar is God's calendar, when does 2025 start and end in respect to our Gregorian calendar?
The Nissan calendar doesn't line up neatly with the modern Gregorian one because it begins in late March instead of January. So in our modern terms, that means the true biblical year 2025 runs from late March 2025 through mid-March 2026. By biblical reckoning, the prophetic year, the true 2025, isn't finished yet. We're a little more than halfway through it, which means most of the major watch dates have already passed. But a few key windows still remain before the biblical year closes in 2026.
Some argue that the rapture is imminent and dates don't matter, but I suspect nothing God does is random. What are your thoughts on this, Fred?
That's the balance a lot of people miss. Imminency doesn't mean any random Tuesday out of the blue. It means nothing has to happen first, no prophecy left unchecked, no event that must unfold. The stage is already set, but God's pattern, his moadim, the appointed times, shows us when he tends to act. He's not unpredictable, he's consistent. Every major redemptive act, the cross, the resurrection, Pentecost, happened on one of those appointed days. So imminency says, be ready anytime. Appointed times say, watch carefully. He moves right on schedule.
I notice some people carry on like you have to do something to be ready, but to me it's just, be born again and you are good to go. And the clean undies on the day thing, what is wrong with people? Always wear clean undies. But seriously, you don't even have to believe in the rapture to be in the rapture. But it's more fun if you do.
Ah yes, the doctrine of imminent laundry, often overlooked. I didn't realize you were so passionate about undies, Chris.
We all are. So let's keep moving and list the remaining appointed times in this window.
So here's what's left on the biblical calendar before the clock resets. First up, Hanukkah, the Festival of Lights. It's not one of the original 7 feasts, but it's loaded with prophetic imagery. The rededication of the temple, light overcoming darkness, and a victory that came when all seemed lost. It's not hard to see why some watchers circle it. Deliverance often starts quietly. Next, the Fast of Tevet. It marks the siege of Jerusalem, a day tied to judgment and walls closing in. That's why it's often seen as a watch point. The theme of restraint being lifted fits neatly with end times patterns. Then comes Purim. Now, that one's all about reversal. Esther's courage, hidden providence, and God flipping the script at the last moment. If there's a feast that screams, for such a time as this, that's it. And finally, Nisan 1, the biblical new year, the moment the prophetic clock resets. Exodus 12 verse 2. This month shall be for you the beginning of months. It's the divine restart button.
People who've been watching a while probably know all this already, Fred. But you know how it goes. If YouTube doesn't have a new date soon, some of the date addicts might start table flipping again.
Again with the table flipping. Yeah, the date addicts. They're like caffeine junkies, always chasing the next fix. But that's not how prophecy works. It's not about finding a date, it's about understanding the pattern. God's schedule isn't hidden in the numbers. It's written in His nature.
There sure are a lot of dates for what's supposed to be the dry patch, Fred. If we cover everything past 2025, we'll set the world record for most dates in a single Rapture video. But that's kind of the point, right? We're not here to hang all our hope on one date and ride the emotional roller coaster up and down every time it passes. We're showing how these dates form, the patterns behind them, so people can see their windows of probability, not lottery tickets.
Dates can encourage you, but they shouldn't control you. Like I said before, hold the dates loosely and hold on to Christ with all your might. Get the big things right, and the little things take care of themselves. God is faithful, and what He has promised will surely come to pass. The rapture is coming, and each day is one day closer. Of that, there can be no doubt.
All we are doing is trying to work out when, and even if we get it right, we won't even care when we get there. You know, the Pharisees never worked out when He was coming, but He still came right on time. You know, Fred, people make fun of date watchers, but I think they misunderstand the heart behind it. It's not obsession, it's hope.
Exactly. Hope isn't guessing, it's watching with understanding. Hebrews says, as you see the day approaching. Well, that means we're supposed to see something. You can't see the day approaching if you're not even looking.
You know, I was talking to someone who buys a small lotto ticket for every day of the year, and I thought that probably adds up. He said it's worth about 7 therapy sessions financially, and it gives him more hope than any therapist could. He said just knowing life could be different each time he wakes up gave him strength to keep walking. It sat with me and I thought he might be right. Hope is really necessary, not really optional when you need to overcome. So now I am very cautious of anyone or anything trying to remove it from me.
That actually makes sense, Chris. Psychologists say hope isn't just wishful thinking. It's what keeps the mind from collapsing under uncertainty. It gives structure to endurance. Take away someone's hope, and you don't make them realistic. You make them numb.
Exactly. The winning wasn't even the point for him. It was the hope that mattered. Even if it never happened, that little spark that maybe tomorrow could be different was enough to keep him going. Disappointment barely registers when you've already decided hope itself is the reward.
Then keep watching, Chris. Just maybe stay out of the fruit market this time.
Our blessed hope is not in calendars. It's in our Lord coming to get us, and I for one will stay excited about it and set dates as little bits of encouragement to keep going, keep trusting. Because like we said on another video, whether we work it out or not, the Jesus hug we all long for is coming.
Yes, indeed. By the way, you know all those stop-setting dates, people who watch every Rapture date video.
Yes, of course. Have you got a theory, Fred?
Yes, I do. They're secretly hoping we're right. They want out of here just as much as we do.
I knew it. I thought I was the only one suspecting that. They're welcome here, even for a little peek at the dates. We love you. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you on the next one, if we are still here, of course. God bless you.
The dates had passed and I sold the cat, the house and car including the jack. Walked into work, called the boss a hack, and now I'm screwed. If the mockers believe all that, they need therapy and a cat. We're the children of the Most High. Sooner or later we're gonna fly.